Ooh, what's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko podcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, we thought we would talk about a lot of different Funko leaks within the last couple of weeks or so. And a lot of them do have to do first with the NFTs. Then we got some regular Funko Pop leaks that have been posted the last couple of weeks. But the main focus of today's podcast also is the recently released leaks for C2E2, the con that has been officially confirmed as the first con that Funko is going to be at in 2024. They have officially confirmed that they will not have a booth with exclusives at WonderCon at the end of this month, and that they are going straight to C2E2, although they do have a panel going on. But nonetheless, without further ado, MD, are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested in hearing what kind of leaks are going on right about now.
All right, so the first photo I'll post up right now is the leak that came out about, I want to say 3 weeks ago at this point, a little bit before the other NFT leaks were posted, which the list that we have here are Star Trek The Next Generation, Dungeons & Dragons Series 2, a Batman 85th Anniversary Hero set, Disney Afternoon, and the 2024 April Fool's set, which I'm not going to go into detail with a lot of these, considering I did do videos recently on the channel about them, but some of them I will mention, like Star Trek The Next Generation actually ending up being confirmed shortly after this was posted, and that it was already released as a set at this point. And then a Dungeons & Dragons 2 set, I do like the idea of that. We did a podcast, actually, would have been our last podcast that we did, where we talked about NFT sets that deserved a Series 2, and we did mention that Dungeons & Dragons definitely deserved a Series 2 set. I mean, the regular set was a banger, and then, of course, the NFT set was awesome. That I'm glad that there's potentially a Series 2 coming out, and I can't wait to see what they pull off for that. Hopefully, the royalty is Freddy Funko stuck inside of a gelatinous cube. I think that'd be amazing. And then the last one I'll mention out of this bunch, since I've mentioned about all of these already, is the April Fool's 2024 set, a set where I'm a little surprised that they're doing that this year, considering that there isn't really many pops to go off of, because it's based off of the April Fool's jokes that Funko's done in the past. Like they did the egg for 2023, and then the baby Freddy as the royalty. But a lot of it is probably going to be based off of like the cards that were shown off in that Series 2023 set.
Yeah, this does not sound like a bad idea at all. Starting off with the Dungeons and Dragons set, I think this could be really cool. I think that DK's idea for a Freddy Funko in a gelatinous cube is amazing. That'd definitely be a pop that I would want to try to buy at some point. I do have the first two gelatinous cubes, and there's definitely so many different characters in D&D that could be done. And I would like to see something like maybe a new Mimic. The first Mimic that we got was really cool with the whole idea of it being a like Funko Pop box, but I would like to see a Mimic that is like a normal like treasure chest like you kind of normally see a Mimic as. I think that that would be really neat, but there's so much that they can do that I think that that makes a lot of sense. The Batman 85th anniversary is kind of exactly what I wanted to see if they were going to do a new DC set. I don't want to see just a bunch of random characters from DC. I want to see like just Batman if they want to pull off an awesome DC set. Then, of course, with the April Fools, this is going to be pretty cool. Last year's April Fool's set was pretty interesting, but it was also something that was kind of refreshing. So I think that that could be the same way this year. And then the last one with the Disney Afternoon. I mean, Disney's huge, so I'm assuming it's going to be like Saturday afternoon cartoon type Disney characters that we'll see, but that's a wide variety of what we could get. So hopefully we do get some awesome stuff for that one. And I would love to rip some packs for that.
Then with the next list of Funko NFT sets that are possibly coming out, we got ourselves Universal Monsters, Warner Brothers Horror Series 2, and then Aliens. So I did mention in the recent video, actually was posted, I believe, last week on our channel, Alien kind of makes sense because the anniversary is this year. I didn't think that Warner Brothers Horror needed a second series, but I guess it's all right. And then Universal Monsters seems like a unique idea. I would like to see what they pull off with that.
Yeah, these three sets are definitely interesting. I think I'm most excited for the Universal Monsters. I think that that could be a really great set of NFTs. The Warner Brothers Horror, hopefully, maybe this time we get some new Gremlins pops. I know that I wanted it for Series 1, but of course we did not see any Gremlins in there. So maybe, just maybe, this set we can. And then Alien, yeah, this makes sense. I think we could get some cool stuff. But at the same time, I'm not too excited for that one.
And then in the second part of this list, we have ourselves Daria, Batman villains, and then a series 2 of My Little Pony. So Daria, I won't go into this one too much because I did mention in that video that's more of an MD Shady thing that he actually knows a little bit about compared to me. Batman villains is a little bit weird considering like we have heroes listed, so I'm not sure if maybe it was a little bit of a bugaboo, it was a little bit of a mishap that maybe only one of these are happening, or we are going to get like two separate Batman sets possibly coming out in 2024, which would be a little meh. I kind of hope that maybe it was a mix or one or the other. I actually would dig the idea of a villain set more than just, let's say, a full six pop set of maybe just Batman or just Batman heroes like Robin and Batgirl. I think getting a nice wave of Batman villains would be cool. And then My Little Pony Series 2, something that a lot of people joke about as like, oh, what's going to be the next set? My Little Pony Series 2, because number one was kind of a little bit obscure and random. But honestly, I would have rather this happen than to have seen Squid Game happen earlier this year.
So starting off with the Daria set, this is kind of interesting. When the first Daria pop came out, I thought that that pop was great. I did have it in my collection for a while, and then they came out with the first wave of Daria pops, and I thought that that was it, that we were good. But of course, we are maybe getting this Daria NFT drop, so I don't know if this is necessary, but at the same time, there could be some cool pops, so maybe if it happens, we'll see what we get for the redeemables. Then the Batman villains, I think this is a wicked idea. There's so many Batman pops, and there's not really enough villains. I mean, of course, you have a ton of Jokers, you have a ton of Harley Quinn, but I think that we could see some more obscure villains in this set, and that's what I'm hoping for. And then with the My Little Pony Series 2, I didn't mind the Series 1 set. I definitely liked the Freddy Funko as Spike. I thought that was pretty cool, so maybe we could see some cool stuff again with this one, but it's not going to be pops that I necessarily want to have in my collection.
And then the last set of pops for the recent Funko NFT leaks list, Cartoon Network, Scooby-Doo Series 2, and Rick and Morty, which, like I mentioned in a bunch of videos, that for some reason Rick and Morty keeps appearing, but it hasn't happened. It was even in like the very first set of Funko NFT leaks that came out about a year ago. So it's been in the rumor mill for quite a while, just like Star Wars was until it officially got confirmed the other day. The Rick and Morty set, I mean, it could be good, it could be bad. Hopefully Morty Jr. ends up being a pop in this set, like I've mentioned. With Cartoon Network as its own set is something I'm surprised they didn't do much earlier, considering they have had two Nickelodeon sets where it's just a bunch of different shows from Nickelodeon in a set, but this time it'd be Cartoon Network. So maybe some of those obscure Cartoon Network shows that might not be big enough to have its own set like we've seen with like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, and Powerpuff Girls. Now we can have in this set, like example, it will be maybe a little bit of a spoiler because I'm not sure if MD has seen the video yet that I posted about the possible redeemables, but maybe we will get pops like a new Ben 10, or we may get some of those Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends pops in this set. Who knows? And then Scooby Doo is also another set that we mentioned on that podcast last or a couple weeks ago, where it deserved a series 2, and now it seems like that is very likely. And with the redeemables, I won't give it away for that video, but I'm pretty confident with a lot of the redeemables I predicted, especially one of the legendaries and the royalty, because they were actually cards in series 1, but they were never pulled off as redeemables.
Yeah, these are definitely very interesting. Starting off with Cartoon Network, this could be really, really great. Like DK said, we can get some pops that haven't had their own set yet. I really hope we get some stuff from Ed, and Eddie in this set. That would be so cool. Maybe even what I think would be the ideal pop from Ed, and Eddie to be in an NFT set would be, God, I don't remember the character's name exactly, but I'll just call him Plank. That might be his name, but I feel like I have that wrong. But basically, the piece of wood that has the face drawn on it, I think that that is an ideal NFT pop, and you can save Ed, and Eddie for like a 3-pack or something like that. But Cartoon Network, there's so many different things. Of course, getting Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends would be really, really cool. But like I said, Cartoon Network has so many different shows that are so beloved by the fans that we could see a lot of really cool pops here. Hopefully, it is at least 6 pops. And then Scooby Doo Series 2. Of course, this is going to be good. I don't think there's a way that this could really be bad. There's more like villains, quote unquote, that we can see for this. And we could get another version of Scooby Doo that might be cool, or maybe not, but we will find out, hopefully. And then Rick and Morty. This is like the ideal set for a NFT. I mean, so many people collect the Rick and Morty pops. There's so many different variations of each character that this could be a really, really solid set of NFT pops. And hopefully it is. I'll definitely bust packs open if it intrigues me enough.
All right, so now we're going to go to the regular Funko Pop leaks, which we're not going to go through every single one because there's actually quite a bit, but we're going to go through the ones that I think would be the most intriguing to us realistically. So, first up we have here is actually another wave of Yu-Gi-Oh pops coming down the pipeline here. So, the list that I have specifically here, we got Cyber Dragon, Magician's Valkyria, a 6-inch Ultimate Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. That's a mouthful to say. One that I think both MD and I would actually be excited about is the Magician of Black Chaos. And then we got Zane Truesdale, which I feel like a lot of these are from, and it seems like it's a trend nowadays with the new wave of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops for the later series like GX or G5. I can't even remember some of the names of them, but I know GX is, I think, the direct sequel to the OG Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think out of all these pops, the one I'm most excited about is Magician of Black Chaos. That's the one that like sticks out in my mind and I remember seeing in the OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. But overall, they have been pumping up some really cool Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops. Like recently I talked about on the channel the official confirmation of like Ojama Yellow being a pop. Like I think that one was absolutely hilarious. And then getting Yu-Gi-Oh's, and it's surprising that it took this long, the first chase figure in the Yu-Gi-Oh lineup. I'm surprised it took this long when sets like My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, and Dragon Ball Z have had so many at this point. So I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be getting these, but I still also have to get those new sets of pops, including the chase figure.
Yeah, this is really cool to see a new potential wave of Yu-Gi-Oh pops. Funko's been killing it with the Yu-Gi-Oh pops recently, which is great because me and DK are pretty much going for complete sets of the Yu-Gi-Oh pops. So that's really cool. And of course, the Magician of Black Chaos is going to be a sick pop if this actually comes to fruition and we do get these pops. But some of these are a little lackluster. Of course, we haven't seen them in pop form yet, but there are pops that we want to see. Like personally, for me, I definitely want to see a pot of green at some point. But getting any Yu-Gi-Oh pops is always great, so I'm very happy about this.
So the next set is something that I wouldn't say we're entirely into, but it's interesting that they're returning with pops with this, and that is a new set of League of Legends pops. So we got Riven with Blade, Aura, Lucian, Senna, and Viego. Like I haven't played League of Legends, but I know this was like some of the OG games lineups of pops. Like it's up there with like I believe the first 6 are between Plants vs Zombies and the original Sonic the Hedgehog pops, and I believe after that may have been League of Legends. Maybe it was a little far after that, but like I know that those super OG, so it's cool when they do like new waves of pops for really OG sets of pops. Like we've actually been getting lately with like movies and television with like Sesame Street and the Muppets and stuff like that. So this does seem exciting.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I do have some of the League of Legend pops that I've had in my collection for a while that I kind of buy in bundle deals. So I don't know if I should hold on to those now that we're getting more because maybe the value will go up. Like DK said, we're both not really super interested in League of Legends, but the pops are pretty cool. So maybe I'll have to hold on to those pops and then see if that value does go up because that's kind of what seeming like could happen, especially considering those pops are pretty old at this point.
So this next set is for the movies lineup, and it's more specifically for 2 movies that have famous Canadian actor John Candy in them. And first, we got ourselves a 2-pack from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's Neil Page and Del Griffith, so John Candy and Stephen Martin, which is really cool. And then also an Uncle Buck Funko Pop. How amazing is that? I remember Uncle Buck watching that as a kid. Of course, I wasn't alive when it came out, but of course, like my parents would have showed me the movie, and it's really awesome to see John Candy get some love in the Funko Pop lineup. I know that a few years back we had John Candy in one of the Bill Murray movies, I think. I can't remember which one it is, but I remember they did a pop of John Candy in that movie. And then also, I believe John Candy was made for the Cool Runnings lineup. So a lot more love going to John Candy potentially. That would be amazing because that guy is awesome.
Both of these movies are super great, so I'm excited to see what these pops look like. Hopefully, this does happen. I love both of these movies, so this would be really cool. I don't know if I necessarily buy these pops for my collection, but I definitely want to see them in person.
So this next set is for the Marvel lineup, and they're titling it as Split. So basically, you take a superhero, you split it in half, and it's like superhero persona, and then the real person as the other half. Which listed here, we got Captain America and Steve Rogers as one, Spider-Man Peter Parker, and then Wolverine and Logan, which we have gotten this before, if you guys remember, and I actually do have it in my collection. That's how I can point it off the top of my head, is that they did this with Carnage. They did Carnage and Cletus Cassidy, where they did half and half. Cletus Cassidy in like obviously his jail outfit because he's a criminal, and then the other part is the symbiote to make Carnage. And I do like that pop, and I'm glad that they're kind of doing this for other Marvel characters. I'm excited to see how this turns out because it does seem very intriguing. I'm probably not going to get any of these pops, but I like the idea of this though.
Yeah, this one's interesting. This could be either really awesome or really damn bad. So I guess we'll find out if this does happen. And maybe I'll get that Peter Parker Spider-Man one because I do collect a lot of different Spider-Man pops.
Although there are sets that we do like, this is one that I wanted to bring up because I know we're going to talk really bad about, and that is new Marvel 8-bit pops. So coming to the 8-bit lineup, Black Panther, Thor, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, and then exclusives of Spider-Man, Green Goblin, and Dr. Octopus. Yeah, I don't know really what to say about 8-bit Marvel pops. I mean, they've already kind of resurfaced again, almost starting to become the next blacklight pops of 2024, where we're going to get an abundance of 8-bit pops. And luckily, so far, knock on wood, that there hasn't been 8-bit pops that like have been in sets that I need. So hopefully, I'm not going to mention them in case Funko listens, like, oh, we're going to make an 8-bit pop set of that.
Yeah, I can't wait to look at these pops on the shelf at GameStop for the next, I don't know, year and a half and just see them there every single time because these aren't going to sell unless somehow they look amazing. But I doubt it. 8-bit pops are interesting. It's a cool idea, but I don't know. When you see the pops, they're just not that great. They're super heavy too because they're not hollow heads. I just don't like them.
This next set has a lot of people excited when the one pop was originally leaked earlier this year. Now it looks like we do have a full set of Goosebumps pops for the books lineup. So first up, we have ourselves Slappy from Night of the Living Dummy, Fluffy from Bad Hair Day, the Masked Mutant from Attack of the Mutant, and then there's going to be two versions of the Haunted Mask, one regular version, and the other one's going to be a blacklight version that was the pop that was actually shown on that earlier leaked list, which it looks like here on the picture it's going to be a Barnes & Noble exclusive, which does make sense because if it's a book, it should be exclusive to a bookstore. I like that concept. And then we got the Werewolf of Fever Swamp that's going to be actually listed here as a pop book covers for Goosebumps, which that's actually really cool. If they actually make one of the ones that I can think of off the top of my head and was one that I actually enjoyed from Goosebumps, if they make Monster Blood into a Funko Pop, even a covers, I might get that because that was actually one of my favorites. And I believe I have like the 3 installments of Monster Blood somewhere stored. But I remember reading those, and Goosebumps is really awesome. Slappy should be easy to make because they can easily just take the molding of like Benson from Toy Story because it's a ventriloquist dummy. Exact same concept. So I'm really excited for seeing official glam shots eventually because this is a really unique idea for 2024.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get all of these pops. I own a majority of all of the Goosebumps books. There's still a couple that I need to throw into my collection. So, yeah, these pops are definitely going to be displayed with those books if this does happen. And I hope it does. One pop that I would love to see added to this lineup would be the skeleton in like the cookout attire for Say Cheese and Die, which is an awesome Goosebumps book. So I'd love to see that. And this is definitely a set that I could see us getting multiple waves of, which is really dang cool. Super excited about this one.
This next one is for the Netflix show Wednesday, and we're going to be getting, or we're supposedly going to be getting a pop moments of the infamous Wednesday Raven dance scene, as it's described as. So if you guys remember that scene, I mean, it was very popular. People have been, I believe, doing like TikToks of this dance scene. So it's pretty cool that we're getting more Wednesday pops, especially even though I think we're not getting a season 2 for quite a while at this point, but it's still cool that they are pumping up pops here and there and not doing these huge waves. Maybe they're actually going by their promise of a lean startup, as they've mentioned. So seeing this would be a pretty cool singular Wednesday pop.
Yeah, Wednesday's awesome. So I definitely think that they could do a really good job of this pop. I'm interested to see how the placement of the arms is, though, because the size of the heads of pops obviously are a lot bigger than the body, that it might be weird to pose those arms to make it look perfect, but I think they'll probably do a pretty good job of it.
So 8-year-old me would be very excited about this pop. We're going to be supposedly getting a Avril Lavigne complicated Funko Pop. Recently, they officially confirmed the Singular Skater Boy Funko Pop and the Let Go Funko Pop albums, which I did mention in the recent video of the official announcements from this past week, that Funko will definitely get my money if they do a pop albums of Under My Skin, which was the album after. But seeing these singular ones for most likely specific music videos, that's pretty cool. Also, we already got Skater Boy. Complicated is also, I believe, from that Let Go album. And if they do, let's say, My Happy Ending or Nobody's Home, may have to get those because those are like my top two favorite Avril Lavigne songs. So yeah, I'm excited to see Avril Lavigne finally be immortalized into pop form.
Yeah, this is really cool. I think Avril Lavigne is definitely deserving of Funko Pop, so I'm not surprised to see that we are getting a few different ones, and so far I think they're going to be pretty good.
Next set we're going to be talking about is actually the first set of pops for something that Funko has done a product of previously, but never in pop form. We're going to be getting Cheech and Chong Funko Pops. It just says Cheech and Chong. It doesn't say a two-pack. It doesn't say two separate pops, but it does say Cheech and Chong. And that's really exciting because the only way we got them was, I believe, when vinyls still existed. So that was for the longest time the only way you can get Cheech and Chong merchandise from Funko themselves is that way. And we have seen a couple of Funko products where it's only exclusive at the moment to like a product that isn't either, let's say, pops or sodas. So seeing them in pop form, I'm sure makes a lot of people happy. And I'm sure MD's going to want to get these also.
Yeah, I definitely will. If these come out, I think I'll definitely need to get it. I would probably like to see it in a two pack rather than two singular pops, but realistically, it doesn't matter. These are going to be great, and hopefully, we do see maybe a couple different variations of these guys.
Next set of pops are for Pokemon. And for the first time in a while, I actually recognize all three of these names that are actually on here, especially one of them being a variant of an already existing Pokemon pop. So, first off, we have Quaxley, Mimikyu, which would be very interesting. And then the other one is an Alolan Raichu, which that one actually really intrigues me. I love the colorway of Alolan Raichu, and I actually love how in this photo I'm looking at, I'm pretty sure it's exactly a photo taken from Pokemon Go, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, that Mimikyu, it seems like it meant to be a Funko Pop. The design of Mimikyu already seems very Funko Pop like, so I'm really intrigued to see if this gets confirmed and how it turns out if it does get confirmed. And yeah, I'm loving the idea of an Alolan Raichu, not gonna lie.
Yeah, this could be a really awesome set. All three of these Pokemon are really great. The Mimikyu, I think, yeah, will definitely turn out very, very well. And I haven't really been excited for Pokemon Pops in a while, but that Mimikyu is definitely one that I'd probably consider picking up, though recently I have only been collecting the OG 151 Pops.
And then the last set of regular Funko Pops before we move on to the C2E2 leaks is for Sonic the Hedgehog. And no, in case you're wondering, we're not talking about the Knuckles and Rouge, considering that just got confirmed today as we are recording this. But this is actually something MD actually kind of predicted for the most part on our Sonic the Hedgehog podcast we did like years ago at this point. We got Sonic with Hero Chow. So we're going to get some new chows. Then we got Shadow with a dark chow. And then I think this one MD is going to be really excited about is Cream with Cheese the chow. So these are really cool. We get a new character in Cream and Cheese. That's really awesome. We've been seeing like newer characters be made into Funko Pop form in Sonic. Like we've got Amy, or you can get the flocked version with the flocked Shadow. And then just like I talked about, they just recently confirmed another Knuckles with the first ever Rouge Funko Pop. So it's kind of a little bit of a way to like intrigue you to get those two packs, especially with Knuckles having a new molding with that pop, but it's not flocked. So I'm not going to get it because I do have the flocked version that was exclusive to TargetCon in 2022 and then somehow re-released this year with the 2024 set. But I'm really excited about these new Sonic pops, especially it makes sense. The new movie is coming out in December, so they're pumping up a lot of pops for the games lineup. So I'm really excited about new Sonic pops, not only for potential common and exclusives, but maybe we will get some that could be for conventions later on this year.
Yeah, this is super exciting. I love the Sonic Pops, and it's so great to see Cream and Cheese is amazing to see. Getting Chows is going to be so cool. Very excited about this. I think that this is really cool. We've seen some cool Sonic products recently, and it seems like they're not stopping anytime soon. So yeah, hopefully we can get some more of those characters that we've been dying for the last couple of years.
And then now we are at the C2E2 leaks. Of course, like I've mentioned at the beginning, C2E2 is officially going to be the first Comic Con of the year for Funko. Really surprised that they're not doing WonderCon, considering they've been doing it every year since 2020. And then the leaks we have here, obviously, the list that we have here, it's a very short list, but I don't think it's going to be all the pops because I feel if it is going to be like acting as the third of a big three this year, that it's going to be a mega con, probably as big as WonderCon last year and bigger than what Emerald City Comic Con usually is. So, first pop listed here, we'll get both of our reactions, is going to be a new Green Lantern for the DC Comics lineup. There have been photos surfacing online of this pop showing up at, I believe it's Target, because they're notorious for putting out Comic-Con pops earlier than they should be. And I believe it's for the Justice League lineup that they've been doing the last couple of years. So at least for this lineup, they're not doing like waves of pops that you can find at a GameStop for your regular price and then they end up sitting on the shelf for a while. It is a like Comic-Con release set. So I do enjoy that aspect of this, I guess.
I thought you said this wasn't Emerald City Comic Con. All jokes aside, yeah, Green Lantern, this could be pretty cool. We've seen a lot of really cool Green Lantern pops in the past, especially for cons, so I don't think this one will disappoint.
This next one, I believe, was like one of maybe even the first C2E2 pop that was leaked, and that is Ho with Dumplings from Kung Fu Panda, the new movie that just recently released. And this is going to be a 6-inch pop as shown on this list. Really excited to see some new Kung Fu Panda pops. I mean, we haven't gotten them since that OG wave back in the day. Another example of some OG waves, but then also the new movie releasing, and I'm sure there's going to be added hype towards this movie, not only because of it probably like maybe breaking some box office records, I'm not exactly sure, or making money in the box office, but also if you guys haven't heard yet, you definitely have to listen to Tenacious D's cover of Hit Me Baby One More Time. That happens at the end of the movie, I believe I've heard people say, but they released the full version. Absolutely awesome. Jack Black is an absolute god and a goat of a person.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Kung Fu Panda pops for this movie, and this one could be really cool. Makes sense. Poe with dumplings, that kind of gives the vibe of a Comic Con pop because he's kind of doing something. It's not just your standalone pop of Poe. And I don't even really remember what those OG pops look like, so I'm excited to see this one. Will I get it in my collection? Maybe not, but at the same time, I think that this could be a really banger set of pops.
So I'm going to mention both of these at the same time. It looks like we're going to be getting two 10-inch Pokemon pops, one of Dialga and the other of a first, or actually that is a first time ever, but I was going to mention this is also a first time ever, is Cresselia in this 10-inch form. And I believe Dialga has been mentioned on like the last 3 leaks of the last few Comic Cons. So it's weird that this is like keeps reappearing, but it's like not happening. Maybe this is when it happens. I'm not going to get too excited for it. And then Cresselia, I know, has been hitting up Target stores as of late, so I know what the pop looks like. I just wish they do new Pokemons and make those Comic Con exclusives instead of either making new pops in their 10-inch pops or just doing already existing pops and they add a specification like they've done with prior years with Pokemon pops at Comic Cons.
So the first thing that I have to say is, where the hell is Gengar? How do we still not have a Gengar pop? It blows my mind. But the second thing is, if we're getting Dialga, why aren't we getting Palkia to go alongside with it? Maybe at New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con, maybe that's when we'll see that. But I think that these two pops could be interesting. They are characters that make sense to be in a 10-inch form. So I think they'll be pretty cool, but I don't think I'm really interested in collecting 10-inch Pokemon pops.
So at the bottom of this list, it does say TBD and then TBD moment, which I'm assuming that means literally the acronym it should be, which is to be determined. They don't know what it is, but they also know it's a moment. So that's a little bit weird. Unless you guys know in the comment section below what TBD means for like an acronym of like a movie, a TV series, an anime, perhaps. I don't exactly know, but I will move on to a Funko soda that was listed. And now as I look at this, this was like the very first C2E2 leak I remember even seeing, is a Funko soda figure of Jiminy Cricket for Disney. So this is pretty interesting. A lot of people have been very skeptical nowadays and a little bit afraid that maybe Funko started eliminating sodas from their repertoire of products and that we wouldn't be seeing anymore because there's been a lot of cancellations of, let's say, like some of the Ben 10 ones, and I think the Velma from Scooby-Doo got canceled. So they were thinking Funko sodas might be over, but maybe not. Maybe they will be back to like being super exclusive, and maybe it's only a con Comic-Con release, which I like because I'm sick of seeing obviously those no piece count sodas that we even seen like places like Walmart sell them for $1 each just to try to get rid of them. But getting back to those limited piece sodas that maybe at this point are only exclusive to cons, I like this idea.
Yeah, I like this idea as well. Sodas, it did kind of seem like it was getting ridiculous, especially like DK had said with the no piece count sodas. That's a hairy situation. And then, like, I don't know, it's just the abundance of sodas that even just like I have in my collection. I'm kind of starting to like decide, like, okay, I don't really need to have this one in my collection. So I would love to see sodas be maybe just con exclusives or just exclusive to different stores and obviously not have releases for them like just all the time, like just space out how many Funko sodas that they're putting out. But that being said, I think Jiminy Cricket is an awesome idea for a Funko soda, and depending on what the chase looks like when that kind of gets announced, I might have to buy a can or two to see if we can open it up on the channel and pull that chase, because I think this is going to be a really cool looking soda.
Now we're about to hit anime territory. A lot of people love anime. So, first off, that's listed here is for One Piece, and it's a Shanks Wanted poster. We've seen this trend about a year now where we have gotten away from the rides and now we're doing the wanted posters, more of the covers per se. We have gotten Monkey D. Luffy and we've gotten Goldie Roger. And then I believe there's one other. Oh, there's like Ace for Hot Topic, I believe. But we're continuing the trend of wanted posters for One Piece at Comic Cons, which they've been all right. Like there's been a lot of detail even with the pop itself. For the most part, they've been all right. I mean, it does seem like I'm not going to be excited if for the rest of the Comic Cons this year, that's what your One Piece exclusive is for Comic Con is a cover. So I guess it's all right. I wish I can relate to this, but I can't exactly remember what the character of Shanks looks like.
Yeah, I don't remember what Shanks looks like either. Of course, I haven't watched many episodes of One Piece at all, but I do know that these wanted posters have been looking really, really cool. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing another one at a con. This just makes a lot of sense, and I know it's going to look great.
And the other anime is for My Hero Academia, and we have ourselves a helmeted Miro Togata. I'm not sure what to expect for this, considering that I believe at this point they have dabbled into the seasons I have not seen of My Hero Academia, which would be 5, 6. Not sure if they're in 7, but I guess it's cool to see like a character like Miro Togata get a Comic Con exclusive and not, let's say, let's make Black Light Deku or Diamond Collection All Might. Like just ridiculous ones that would sound stupid, but I think in this case it may seem really cool. So I got a little bit of expectations, but I don't want to have high expectations for this pop.
Yeah, this one should be cool, and it's great to see some more My Hero Academia pops. It feels like it's been a while since at least I've been able to talk about My Hero Academia pops, so makes sense to have one for a con, and I'm sure we'll see more down the line this year. But to start off with the leak for this one is definitely great.
Then going back to the Disney realm, but this time it is a Funko Pop. It's a new pop of Tiana from Princess and the Frog. It does say just Disney and Tiana, so I'm not sure if it is, let's say, Princess and the Frog lineup, or maybe it's perhaps, and hopefully it's not this case, Tiana in a gold dress, and it comes with a ridiculous pin, and you got a gold version of the C2E2 sticker. I hope that's not the way that they're going with this, or maybe it's just a new Tiana pop and it's its own separate lineup, maybe. I don't exactly know.
This one's interesting, mostly because of what DK just said, because I wouldn't have even thought of that. But yeah, a gold dress would kind of suck, especially for a con exclusive. Like, come on. But this one could be good. It could also be bad. So I guess we just have to wait and find out.
And this last one I saved till last, and who knows, maybe by the time this releases, you guys may know what it looks like if it does get confirmed. And it does list right here that we are possibly getting a Muppets pop for C2E2. It does say to be determined, though, so we don't know what it is yet. So we can't just discuss what it could be. Who knows? There's a lot of plethora of different things. We have seen some new Muppets pops releasing this year, like with Muppets Mayhem with Baby Animal. We had gotten that 2-pack with the Kermit and Constantine exclusive to Hot Topic. So who knows at this point what it could be? I kind of want to say, though, that it's an easy route maybe for a new Kermit. I don't know what else they could do. I'm sure MD can come up with multiple ideas of what it could be. But I mean, if it's indeed like one thing I've been wishing is the It's Not Easy Being Green Kermit sitting on the log playing his banjo. If it's that case, I may have to buy it because I've always wanted a Kermit pop. And that's kind of like the ideal one that I would get, where it's like I can get that one and I don't have to get the rest of the Kermits or any Muppets pops. I'd be just satisfied with that. But I'm sure MD can come come up with a bunch of different ideas of what could be this possible Muppets pop for C2E2.
Yeah, I think a banjoed Kermit for like the Rainbow Connection could be really, really awesome. Definitely something I'd like to see, but there's so many characters that I do want to see. Like a 10-inch Sweetums would be amazing. Scooter hasn't had his own Funko Pop yet, so that would be great. Of course, there could be different versions of Miss Piggy that we could see. I mean, there's just so many characters that we haven't got. Of course, we could get a normal version of Walter and Staldorf. That would be really cool as well. But I don't know. There's so much that it could be, and no matter what it is, it's definitely going in my collection because I 100% collect those Muppet Pops.
Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this edition of a Funko Podcast. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts of these possible leaks that have been posted, and we hope to see you guys on another edition of a Funko Podcast or just a video in general in this channel. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in, peace out.